Bud 1, the Bud 1 ground ship, if you will.
TV worth watching, it's public television on WNPE Watertown, WNPI Norwood.
Local production of Whiz Quiz is made possible in part by a grant from Key Bank of New York. Key Bank, America's first choice. And now, here's your host for today's Whiz Quiz competition, Glenn Gull.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of the 15th season of Whiz Quiz on WNPE, WNPI. We are delighted to have with us two fine schools all set to kick it off for our 15th year, LaFargeville Central and Copenhagen Central Schools. Let's get right to it by having you meet the team from LaFargeville Central.
My name is Ben Timmerman. I'm a senior at LaFargeville Central, and my favorite subject is science, and I plan to be a graphic artist.
Hi, my name is Derek Lawrence. I'm a senior at LaFargeville. I'm president of Student Council and plan to pursue a career in computer science.
Hi, my name is Noelle Longton. I'm a junior at LaFargeville. I'm on the Student Council, and someday I'd like to be a doctor.
Hi, my name is Mark Reeves. I'm a senior at LaFargeville. I'm president of Peer Leadership and National Honor Society, and I'd like to pursue a career in audio production.
All right, you have met LaFargeville, and now let's meet their opposition from Copenhagen Central School.
Hi, my name is Scott Weaver. I'm a senior at Copenhagen Central, and I participate in the baseball, basketball varsity teams.
Hi, my name is John Boomhauer. I'm a senior at Copenhagen, and I plan on attending college next year.
Hi, my name is Ellie Fleming. I'm part of the senior class. I belong to National Honor Society, and I'm the captain on varsity tennis.
My name is Sean Cunningham. I'm a senior at Copenhagen, and I'm on the National Honor Society.
All right, we have met the teams. Our judges for this first match of our brand new season are two retired teachers, Helena Stark and Barbara Trainer, and they have both judged for us many, many seasons. We're delighted to have them back again this year. So let's get started and play round number 1, Smart Start. On this round, word combinations such as tip-top or dilly-dally are duplications. What duplication means a small ornamental item or a trinket? Mark?
A knick-knack?
Right, a knick-knack, or you could have said a doodad, or you could have said a gewgaw, right? Right. Okay, Copenhagen. What is the simple subject in this statement? One person's exuberance is the next person's annoyance. Scott?
Person?
No, the simple subject is exuberance. LaFargeville. 2 positive numbers are in the ratio of 1 to 3, and their sum is 8. Name either number. Mark?
6.
Yes, and the other one is 2. Copenhagen. Evaluate 2 to the first power times 3 squared. Ellie?
18.
18 is right on. Okay, now you're going to have a slide pop up here on your screen, which we'd like you to take a look at. Name the Canadian province just west of Ontario. Mark?
Manitoba.
Manitoba. Mark LaFargeville. And another slide for you, Copenhagen. Name this major Alaskan river that flows across the Canadian border.
Margaret Thatcher.
Time is up. It's the Yukon. LaFargeville. Which instrument measures the depth of the ocean by using sound waves transmitted from the surface of the sea to the ocean bed? Ben LaFargeville.
Sonar.
Sonar is his answer. I'll ask the judges if they would allow that. You want the name of the instrument. Okay, they're not going to accept that one. Sonic depth finder or fathometer. Fathometer. No penalty, however, on round number 1. Copenhagen, which instrument measures the relative humidity of the atmosphere? It usually consists of 2 thermometers, a dry bulb one and a wet bulb one. Our time has expired. It is a hygrometer. Hygrometer. LaFargeville, identify the word for a group of citizens sworn to hear the testimony in legal disputes and to give a decision as to what they believe is the truth. Noel?
Jury.
A jury. Copenhagen? Give the meaning of ICBM. This is the acronym for a type of missile with a range of over 5,000 miles. ICBM is an intercontinental ballistic missile. LaFargeville, name the daughter referred to in this statement I will read. The accession of Henry VIII's daughter by Catherine of Aragon threatened the survival of both the Tudor dynasty and the English Reformation. The daughter was Mary Tudor. Copenhagen. During the reign of which great English female sovereign did England become a first-rate European power with a great navy? Shakespeare, Spencer, Bacon, and Raleigh lived during her reign. Ellie?
Queen Elizabeth I.
Elizabeth I is correct. Okay, I think we're going to show you another picture on your screen. LaFargeville, for what accomplishment was Captain Scott O'Grady, who is seen on the screen, greatly admired? Oh, he didn't make the light, Noel. What, you know? Do you know?
He was shot down and got...
Yes, I wish you'd have said that a couple seconds earlier. Well, Copenhagen, it's your turn with the slide. And we'd like you to name this California governor who recently abandoned his bid to occupy the White House. Time is up. Pete Wilson. I guess he wasn't too well known. It's a good thing he abandoned his bid, right? Over to LaFargeville. Give the term for the lowest range of the male singing voice. Mark, LaFargeville?
Bass.
That's right. It's a bass. And Copenhagen? Give the term used to describe an instrument, such as the saxophone. It's pitched higher than a bass and lower than a tenor. Ellie?
Baritone.
Baritone is correct. Okay, that's the end of round number 1. We shall pop up our score and show you how we stand. LaFargeville has a slim lead of 20 points at the end of this round. Let me take a second to thank from LaFargeville Central their Superintendent Richard Sauer, Principal Eula Alton, and Faculty Advisor Tom Feenberg for their assistance in a behind-the-scenes fashion on Whiz Quiz. Round 2 is called One-on-One. Okay, here's where we give you a chance to answer some questions individually. We'll start with the LaFargeville and go through that team and then go over to Copenhagen. We'll go around twice, so you'll each get 2 questions. Ben, of LaFargeville, this is your first question. In the worst terrorist bombing in U.S. history, which former Army soldier with far-right political views was arrested for destroying the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, killing 81 people, 12 of them children, leaving on I think on the tip of your tongue, huh? Timothy Derek, name the young people's novel by Canadian author Lucy Maud Montgomery, which has also been a miniseries on television.
Anne of Green Gables.
Oh yeah, Anne of Green Gables appeared on this station many, many times. Okay, LaFargeville and Noel. In 1990, which player for which team became the first player in NHL history to score 2,000 points?
Wayne Gretzky?
Need the team.
I don't know.
Okay. Mark maybe should have been sitting over where you were, right? Wayne Gretzky, Los Angeles Kings. And Mark, which U.S. president was known for the glasses he wore clipped on the bridge of, up on the bridge of his nose and for the cigarette holder that jutted upward from his mouth?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin Roosevelt's correct. So now we'll go over to Copenhagen and start with Scott. In July 1903, Maurice Garin won the first annual bicycle race in France. Can you name the race?
Tour de France.
The Tour de France is correct. John, identify the two-time loser in presidential elections who wrote Call to Greatness in 1954, Friends and Enemies in 1959, and Putting First Things First in 1960. He served as governor of Illinois and as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. It was Adlai Stevenson, and he had the kind of tough position of opposing the very popular General Eisenhower. Ellie, the Oklahoma City disaster rescue effort of 6 56-member urban search and rescue teams, 300 local officials, 200 FBI agents, 75 ATF officers, and 45 U.S. Marshals. Well, it was coordinated by which federal agency that has the initials FEMA? The Federal Emergency Management Agency. And Sean, identify the former Commerce Secretary in the Reagan administration, after whom a highly prized award celebrating quality improvement in business is named. That's a tough one. Malcolm Baldrige, the National Close. What is the amplitude of the graph of y equals 2 times sine of x? Two. Derek, name the industrialist who sold his steel enterprises to J. Pierpont Morgan for $250 million and gave $2.5 million grant to found the New York Public Library System.
Rockefeller?
No, I'm glad you took a stab. It was Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie. Noel, the Clinton administration was angered after a suspect described by the FBI as the single most dangerous terrorist at large today was allowed to escape by which Mideastern country that was an ally in the Persian Gulf War, and its monarch is King Fahd?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is right. Mark, a battle over federal funding for the arts continues to buffet the American art community. Give the full name of NEA, the agency that provides artists with federal grants.
The National Endowment for the Arts.
Right, the National Endowment for the Arts. Scott, Copenhagen. Washington, D.C. recently marked the arrival of 19 stainless steel statues representing every military branch for a new memorial to which war fought between 1950 and 1953?
Korean War.
The Korean War. Well, it's actually located right across from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. John, Copenhagen. Which future U.S. president was U.S. commander of European theater operations during World War II? New York City artist painted more than 300 Saturday Evening Post covers.
Norman Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell is right. And Sean, in the radian system of measuring angles. How many radians is 120 degrees? Two pi over 3 radians. Okay, that's the end of round number 2. And LaFargeville still with that same 20-point lead. This is a good match we've got going for the first one of the year. We'll play round 3 in a moment. I would like to thank from Copenhagen Superintendent Stephen O'Brien, Principal Michael Jandro, and Faculty Advisor Raymond O'Brien for their Whiz Quiz assistance. Round 3 is No and Tell. All right, this is where the action gets maybe a little more fun. This is first come, first served. On this round, you get a answer from the bonuses if you qualify for a bonus for another 50. Depending on the rounds that if one we answer question and I will for the score. Identify the small scattered endocrine glands in the interstitial tissue of the pancreas that secrete insulin, and they're named after a German physician and anatomist. Noel?
Isolates of Langerhorn or something?
Yeah, they're going to accept that. Isle of Langerhans. Isle of Langerhans, that's correct. Identify the salty biblical sea, also known in Latin as Lacus asphaltites, and it was first mentioned in Genesis 14, verse 3. Derek, LaFargeville?
The Red Sea.
No, I'm sorry. Copenhagen, I'll repeat it for you and perhaps pronounce it a little better. Identify the salty biblical sea, also known in Latin as Lacus asphaltites, first mentioned in Genesis 14, verse 3. John?
The Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea is correct. In what American national park do tourists ride mules down 500 million years into the past? Mark, LaFargeville.
Grand Canyon National Park.
Grand Canyon is correct. Now, as you can see, this question contains a bonus if you get the first part of it correct, and it is a mathematical sort of a question. A rectangle is 45 feet long and 5 feet wide. What is the length of a side of a square that has the same area? Mark, LaFargeville?
15.
That's correct, and here's a bonus for LaFargeville. If a 39-foot ladder is placed against a building 15 feet from its base, how far up the building will the ladder reach? Noel?
36 feet.
36 feet is correct. To whom does this passage refer? Amid the pageantry that characterized his public appearances and those of Pope Pius VIII, who came from Rome to grace the occasion, he placed the crown on his own head. Ellie, Copenhagen.
Napoleon.
Yes, Napoleon Bonaparte, we'll accept. In 1977, which planet was discovered to have rings? Sean, Copenhagen.
Saturn.
I beg your pardon?
Saturn.
No, LaFargeville, I'll repeat it for you if you wish. In 1977, which planet was discovered to have rings? Ben?
Uranus.
That's correct, Uranus. What device was developed and designed to indicate exactly the tempo of a composition? Mark, LaFargeville?
A metronome.
A metronome. Mathematics again. If the lengths of two sides of a triangle are 5 and 9, then the length of the third side must be greater than what number? Okay. The head of the news division of what? Scott, Copenhagen.
Must be greater than 13.
Incorrect. LaFargeville, if the length of two sides of a triangle are 5 and 9, then the length of the third side must be greater than what number? Mark?
5.
No, neither side got it. It's 4. 4. Bonus time again. Which word completes William Blake's famous opening line, "Tiger, tiger, burning"? Sean, Copenhagen?
Bright.
Bright. Bonus for Copenhagen. Give the second line of William Blake's poem, The Tiger, or identify both the location and the time at which the tiger is burning bright. And the answer is in the fourth of the night. No penalty for not making a bonus. Between which two Alaskan cities is the annual Iditarod 1,100-mile sled dog race run? Time has expired from Anchorage to Nome. Its programs include loans to farmers, farm price supports, food stamps, the grading and inspection of meat, soil conservation, crop forecasting, and, Scott, Copenhagen?
Department of Agriculture.
Yes, the Department of Agriculture. Which term is used to designate the energy that travels as a wave in the form of visible and invisible light? It is called radiant energy or electromagnetic radiation. In the banking industry, what is the meaning of the abbreviation ATM? Sean, Copenhagen.
Automatic teller machine.
Yes, automated teller machine. It's bonus time once again. Name the institution for homeless and underprivileged boys, where girls are now admitted, that was established by the Roman Catholic priest, Mark LaFargeville.
The Boys Club.
No. Copenhagen. Sean, you want me to repeat it?
No, the Boys and Girls Club.
No, I'm sorry, that's not it either. So neither team gained nor lost. Boys Town. Boys Town. What figure of speech is used in this quotation? The back seat of my new compact sedan is so small and cramped, we have to grease the children. Mark LaFargeville.
Hyperbole.
That's a hyperbole. Which character in which short story requested that his epitaph read, "He loved his country as no other man has loved her, but no man deserved less at her hands"? Edward Everett Hale published this story in 1863. I need the character. It was Philip Nolan in The Man Without a Country. This is the last question on round 3. Who was the world's first top-ranked black tennis player? Sean, Copenhagen?
Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe is correct. That's the end of round number 3. And LaFargeville is on top 165 to 130. It's still close because in round number 4, well, I'll tell you about round number 4 in just a moment. We call it Think Fast. Oftentimes, scores change rather quickly in this round because you have 10 points for a correct answer and minus 10 for an incorrect answer. We'll get in as many questions as we can, starting with this one. If something is ferrous, which metal does it contain? Mark LaFargeville.
Iron.
Iron is right. Name the Broadway musical and musical film named after a United States state. Noel LaFargeville.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. In the arithmetic progression, whose first term is 9 and whose common difference is minus 3, what is the third term? And the answer is 3. Name the Great Lakes on which the ports of Duluth and Cleveland are located. Lake Superior and Lake Erie. Spell the name of the program jointly funded by the states and the federal government that provides medical care for people who fall below a certain income level. Noel LaFargeville?
WELFARE.
No, sorry. MEDICAID. Medicaid. Identify the American inventor whose middle names are Finley Breese. he invented the telegraph? Mark of LaFargeville.
Alexander Graham Bell?
No, I'm sorry. Samuel F.B. Morse. Which independent agency of the U.S. government was established in 1970 during the Nixon administration to protect the nation's environment from pollution? Ben, LaFargeville.
EPA.
The EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency. Mathematics. Find 4 consecutive integers whose total is 90. Time is up. 21, 22, 23, and 24. In close voting on January 12, 1991, what did both branches of Congress authorize the president to do? Sean, Copenhagen?
Going to war in the Persian Gulf War.
Yes, that's close enough to expel Iraq from Kuwait. That's correct.
Last question.
Last question. Oh, my goodness. What noun ends this familiar sequence? Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor. And the answer is thief. Thief. Let's see what has happened in our first match of the year. Well, LaFargeville will be returning. They are victorious in the kickoff match to face an opponent still to be determined in our process of elimination here. We'd like to thank both of these schools for giving us a real good round. It's tough being the first ones of the year. Next week, we hope you'll join us when Oswego will be going against LaFargeville.
Production of Whiz Quiz is made possible in part by a grant from Key Bank. Local production of Whiz Quiz is made possible in part by a grant from Key Bank of New York. Key Bank, America's first choice. Here's your host for today's Whiz Quiz competition, Glenn Gull.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of the second round of our current season of Whiz Quiz. We have 2 teams who did indeed survive their first round confrontations. We're delighted to have them back in the studio this week. We would like you to meet the teams from LaFargeville and Oswego. They are our competitors. And first of all, let us meet the team from LaFargeville Central.
Hello, my name is Ben Timmerman. I'm a senior from LaFargeville Central School. I'm in National Honor Society, and I plan to be a graphic artist.
Hi, my name is Derek Lawrence. I'm a senior at LaFargeville. I'm president of the Student Council and plan to major in computer science.
Hi, my name is Noelle Ongton. I'm a junior at LaFargeville, and someday I would like to pursue a career in medicine.
Hi, my name is Mark Reeves. I'm a senior at LaFargeville, where I'm president of peer leadership in National Honor Society, and I'd like to pursue a career in communications.
That's the team from LaFargeville Central. Now let's meet the opposition from Oswego High.
Hi, my name's Dave Dexter. I'm a senior at the Oswego High School. I'm the vice president of my class. I'm in National Honor Society, and I play varsity football and varsity tennis.
Hi, my name's Alex Steele. I'm a senior at Oswego High School. I'm a member of the varsity tennis team, student council, and National Honor Society.
Hi, my name is Michelle Miller. I'm a junior at Oswego High School. I'm also a member of the National Honor Society, and I write for the Buccaneer Bulletin.
Hello, I'm Rachel Garrett. I'm also a senior at Oswego High School, and I play French horn in the wind ensemble and the orchestra.
All right, that's Oswego's team. Our judges are retired teachers Barbara Haller and Emily Hughes. Our quiz shows could not operate without these ladies and all of the other judges who give us their times voluntarily. Now let's play round number 1, Smart Start. All right, questions to each team. 10 points correct answer, no penalty incorrect answer. We'll start with LaFargeville, and this is algebraic factoring. Factor 144q squared minus 49. Noel?
12q minus 7.
Right on, or 12q plus 7. Got to have both. Oh. I was being good to you, Noel. That's a miss. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Oswego. Algebraic also. What is the square of the expression 2p minus 3? David?
4p squared minus 6p plus 9.
You were close. 4p squared minus 12p plus 9. I proved right off the bat what I know about mathematics, didn't I? These judges know that I'm just terrible in math. LaFargeville. The phrase law of the land was first used in what English document? Ben?
Magna Carta.
That's correct. Oswego. Identify the only English king called the Great. Rachel?
Alfred?
Alfred. LaFargeville, take a look, please, at the television monitor. The dot indicates the location of the capital of this southern state. Name the capital. Mark?
Montgomery.
Montgomery, Alabama. Oswego, we would like you to take a look at the map and name the famous national park located on this river, which forms part of Arizona's western border. Yes, Rachel?
The Grand Canyon National Park?
Grand Canyon National Park. LaFargeville, what term is used in chemistry to represent the concentration of a solution as a ratio of gram equivalent weight of solute per liter of solution? Normality. Oswego, because of its explosive nature, hydrogen is usually stored or transported in the form of sodium hydride. What would one add to the sodium hydride to release the hydrogen? David?
Chlorine gas.
No, I'm sorry, the answer is water. Water. LaFargeville, the sound barrier was first broken by a pilot from what country? Ben?
United States.
Oswego, the following statement made at a White House press conference in 1972 referred to what incident? The White House has no involvement in this particular Alexandra.
Watergate?
Yes, Watergate. LaFargeville, again, take a look at the slide. What president shown here uttered these words? I wish to preach. Mark LaFargeville?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes, Theodore Roosevelt. And Oswego, a slide for you to look at. Name this famous statesman who was also an author and artist. Time is up. It was Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill. What is, LaFargeville, what is the past participle form of the verb become? Mark.
Became.
No, it's become. Oswego, the feminine form of abbot is abbess. what is the feminine form of the word executor? David?
Executus.
No, executrix. Executrix. LaFargeville, what term do pilots use for a plane's highest operable altitude? Ben?
Ceiling.
Ceiling. Oswego, what one-syllable term describes the condition of an aircraft when it slows to the point that the streamlined flow of air over the upper wing surface is partly destroyed? Michelle?
Drag.
You said?
Drag.
No, the term we're looking for is stall. It's partly destroyed and the lift is lost. That's a stall. Okay, that's the end of round number 1. LaFargeville by a slender margin as we get set to go into round 2. From LaFargeville, our thanks to Superintendent Richard Sauer, Principal Eula Alton, and Faculty Advisor Tom Feenberg. Now let's play round number 2, one-on-one. It is our pleasure to put you, ladies and gentlemen, in the spotlight individually on this round. 10 points for a correct answer, no penalty for an incorrect answer. We will start with Ben of LaFargeville. Near which city, in which state, was the Astronaut Hall of Fame dedicated in May 1990?
Houston, Texas.
No, Cape Canaveral, Florida. Derek, pencil maybe. If the measure of angle A is 60 and angle B is a right angle, what is the ratio of the measure of angle A to the measure of angle B?
1 to 2?
No, 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Noel, what happens to an object in liquid when the buoyant force is insufficient to counterbalance the weight of the object?
It sinks.
It sinks, is right. And Mark, who is the author of Tess of the D'Urbervilles? Thomas Hardy. David Oswego. This has to do with triangles. I don't know if you need paper, David, but I'll warn you just in case. Divide the number of right angles that a triangle can have by the number of obtuse angles that a triangle can have.
It's 1.
Yes. Alexandra, name the author who published a book of verse, The Marble Faun, in 1924. This author's first novel was Soldier's Pay in 1926, and he won the 1949 Nobel Prize in Literature. William Faulkner. And Michelle, name the tower in Seattle, Washington that houses the Carillon, activated in 1962 by a remote control button by then-President Kennedy at the opening of the World's Fair, known as the Century 21 Exposition. That tower was called the Space Needle. And Rachel, what causes some of the mud on a muddy spinning car wheel to fly off?
I don't know the word.
Inertia or centrifugal force? Centrifugal force. Ben LaFargeville. The Iraqi Air Force was relatively inactive during the Persian Gulf War. In which neighboring country did many of Iraq's airplanes land to sit out the rest of the war?
Saudi Arabia.
No, Iran. And Iran impounded them. Derek, what is the leading industry in Florida?
Citrus growers.
No, it's tourism. Tourism. Noel, malaria and yellow fever accounted for approximately 90% of the 5,462 American casualties in what war?
Civil War?
No, the Spanish-American. Spanish-American. Mark, When Carmen Basilio won the world middleweight title in 1957, what title did he have to give up?
The heavyweight title?
No, he was the welterweight champion at that time and couldn't hold both of them. David Oswego. Which term is used in economics to designate the continuous period beginning January 1st and ending December 31st?
The fiscal year? Calendar year.
No, it wasn't fiscal year. Got to accept the first answer. Calendar year, yes. Alexandra, an ironclad ship called the Tecumseh was sunk by mines in the Battle of Mobile Bay. What did Admiral Farragut call these mines? He called them torpedoes. He probably wanted to call them other things too, but torpedoes is the answer. Michelle, name the swimmer who won 7 gold medals in the 1972 Olympics. Mark Spitz. Rachel, in 1990, to which Asian people did Emperor Akihito and Prime Minister Kaifu express deepest regret for the suffering that Japanese colonial rule inflicted on them from 1910 to 1945? The Koreans. The Koreans. Okay, that's the end of round number 2. A second for me to thank, and you see LaFargeville with that slim lead. Let me thank Superintendent Lee Cravata of Oswego, Principal David Cowell, and Faculty Advisor Joanna Mills-Bacchus. We do appreciate your assistance also. We play round 3, no and tell. Oh, this is a close one. In this round, now you can grab your buzzers. In this round, 10 points correct. If it's incorrect, the other team gets a chance to answer. Some of the questions have bonuses for 15 additional points. If you get the first part right, you can go for the bonus. That team can. And there's no penalty if you miss the bonus. Here's the first question. Which future U.S. president said, "Just as I went into politics because Joe died, if anything happens to me tomorrow, Mark LaFargeville"?
JFK?
Yes, John F. Kennedy. The sun is about 390 times greater in diameter than the moon. But from the earth, the moon and sun appear to be about the same size. Therefore, how many times farther away is the sun than the moon? David Oswego.
390.
Yes. What 3-syllable term is defined by all of the following? The final section of a musical composition, the last of the 5 divisions of a model oration in rhetoric, and the opposite of a prologue. David Oswego?
The conclusion? The finale?
No. LaFargeville, I will repeat it if you want it repeated.
No. Epi?
Yes, Mark?
Epi? The epilogue.
Epilogue, that's correct. Here we have a bonus, if you get this one right. Name the only Central American country that borders just one other Central American country. Derek LaFargeville.
Mexico.
No, I'll repeat it for you, Oswego. Name the only Central American country that borders just one other Central American country. Yes, Rachel.
Belize.
I beg your pardon?
Belize.
No, it's Panama. Panama. Cirrhosis is a chronic disease that is the result of slow deterioration of what organ? Michelle Oswego?
The liver.
That's correct. This remark, made by an American general during World War II, referred to soldiers from what country? When the going is tough in a brawl or battle, there is no better fighting partner than a man from down under. Michelle Oswego?
Australia.
Australia. Which Shakespearean play is enacted for the benefit of Christopher Sly, a drunken countryman who, in the introductory scene, is dressed as a nobleman and accepts his situation? Rachel Oswego.
King Lear.
No. LaFargeville, which Shakespearean play is enacted for the benefit of Christopher Sly, a drunken countryman who in the introductory scene is dressed as a nobleman and accepts his situation? Catherine is this play's mouse-like insectivore mammal. Mark, LaFargeville?
The Taming of the Shrew.
Yes. A polygon is convex if no interior angle is greater than how many degrees? Didn't make the light. 180. 180. What, the bonus with this one, what is the official monetary unit of Italy? Mark, LaFargeville?
The lira.
Bonus for LaFargeville. What is the official monetary unit of Iran, an anagram of the word lira? Mark?
Aril.
Aril, he said. Aril. No. Good guess, though. It's Rial. Rial. R-I-A-L. Next question. Identify the only two Canadian provinces on which Maine borders. Mark, LaFargeville.
Quebec and Newfoundland.
No. Oswego. Identify the only two Canadian provinces on which Maine borders. David?
Quebec and Ontario.
No, both of you were partly right. New Brunswick and Quebec. Next question. What term relating to seasons literally means sunstop? Noel LaFargeville.
Solstice.
Solstice. Until the adoption of Amendment 25 to the U.S. Constitution in 1967, who filled the vacancy created when a vice president, Mark LaFargeville?
Speaker. The Speaker of the House.
No, I'll repeat it for you, Oswego. Until the adoption of Amendment 25 to the U.S. Constitution in 1967, who filled the vacancy created when a vice president assumed the presidency? Michelle?
The Secretary of State.
No, the answer actually is nobody. No one. Until, of course, the next election. Name the American artist and sculptor who produced these works: The Last Stand, The Emigrants, Cavalry Charge on the Southern Plains. Mark LaFargeville.
Remington.
Frederick Remington. Bonus time. Which American is called the father of transcendentalism? Rachel Oswego.
Ralph Emerson.
Yes, bonus Oswego. The term Beelzebub can be literally translated as Lord of... Michelle?
Demons.
I beg your pardon?
Demons.
No, it was flies. Flies. How many acres are in a quarter section? $160. Name the noted North Country author of a trilogy, including A Fan's Notes, who died in June of 1992. Excuse me. Noel LaFargeville.
Fred Exley.
Yes, Frederick Exley. Name the third brother of Napoleon I and the father of Emperor Napoleon III. That was too late. Too late, David. Louis Bonaparte. Was that what you had in mind? Louis Bonaparte. Okay, that's the end of round number 3. And our match is still close. LaFargeville still holding their lead. Let's play round 4, Think Fast. Okay, no lead is ever too big going into this round because 10 points correct answer, minus 10 incorrect answer. First question. Name the first Japanese emperor to visit China in 2,000 years. Akihito. All right, pencils perhaps. The length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 14 inches. One side has a length of 7 inches. In radical form, the length of the other side is equal to how many times the square root of 3? Noel, LaFargeville?
7.
That's correct. A person classified as a misanthrope hates, Michelle Oswego?
Mankind.
Mankind is right. The Battle of Yorktown occurred in what colony? David Oswego.
New York.
Virginia. Virginia. Sorry. What bond is generally formed between atoms of non-metallic elements? Mark LaFargeville.
Covalent.
That's correct. Which woman, known as the mother of muckrakers, wrote A History of the Standard Oil? Mark of LaFargeville.
Ida Tarbell.
Ida Minerva Tarbell is correct. Name the only U.S. state bordering Alberta, Canada. Rachel.
Washington.
Of Oswego, that was. No, I'm sorry, it's Montana. Montana. In 1990, the University of North Carolina acquired a very large collection of the papers and letters of the North Carolina-born author who wrote Look Homeward Angel. Can you name him? Thomas Wolfe. The lift for the German Zeppelins early in the 20th century was provided by what gas? Ben LaFargeville.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. This is algebraic square roots. Simplify the following. The square root of 27a squared. Mark LaFargeville.
3a radical 3.
Right. I have to check on those math answers because to me 2 and 2 sometimes is 4. What is meant by the prefix in the words omnipresent and omniscient? Michelle Oswego.
All-knowing. All-knowing.
All-knowing, she said. She said.
Oh, all.
No, can't accept that. Okay, no, you got to have it out the first time. The prefix was what we needed was the prefix. In what Philippine bay did American naval forces destroy much of the Spanish fleet during Mark LaFargeville?
Manila.
Manila Bay, that's right. Name the mass of specialized protoplasm found in the cells of most organisms without which the cell cannot divide. Michelle Oswego?
Cytoplasm?
No, nucleus. Which English author wrote all alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea in the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner? Michelle Oswego?
Coleridge.
Coleridge is right. The first American settlement west of the Rocky Mountains was named Astoria after John Jacob Astor, who established a fur trading post there in 1811. In which state is Astoria located at the mouth of the Columbia River? Yes, David?
Washington.
Sorry, it's Oregon. Oregon. Logical conditions complete this statement. If D is E and Q is D, then Q is, Mark LaFargeville?
E.
E. What calendar was used in Russia prior to the 1917 revolution? Julian calendar. The spread of cultural elements from one society to another is described by Alexandra Oswego.
Cultural diffusion?
Yes. A poster in Nicaragua branded him a thief, murderer, racist, torturer, oppressor of indigenous people, and instigator of the big lie. This poster was carried in 1992 during the 500th anniversary of whose achievement? Rachel Oswego?
Christopher Columbus.
That's correct. Last one. Which term is used in physics to designate the lowest and most stable energy level of an atom or nucleus? Noel, LaFargeville.
Ground state?
Ground state is correct. That's it. That's the end of the match. LaFargeville will be advancing with their victory today. We would like to congratulate both of these teams for surviving to the second round. We don't know who LaFargeville will play yet, but we will in future competition. Next week, another second-round match between Potsdam and Thousand Islands.
Local production of Whiz Quiz is made possible in part by a grant from Key Bank of New York. Key Bank, America's first choice.
Okay, like you said, he was one of those guys that placed one of those calls.
I'll tell you, they're taking it in stride.
Mike, he said he could make it worse, but he couldn't make it any better. Boy, that's a bad situation.
I like it when he said he was one of the guys that called. Yeah. Operators are standing. Bye.
Morgan Shepherd trying to take the fifth spot away from Strickland, coming off the corner side by side down the front straightaway.